Yes, I know now. I was thinking just a minute ago, but it is that Friday feeling. It's a special Friday feeling because it's Christmas Eve. Yes, it is. It's Christmas Eve. If you celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas to you. If you don't and you just celebrate holidays, then happy holidays. It's a time for giving, it's a time for being kind, and it's time for loving and stuff. It's also time for playing around planes. Yes, it is. Now, today's not so much about building. We're just going to be catching up on the Spitfire, because I'm sure you're wanting to know what there is left to do on the Spitfire. And we've only got until the next season whenever we can get out and fly Paul Heckles to do it. So I did start filming yesterday, which was Thursday. So let's take a look back. Let's start there again, shall we? Let's take a look back at what I did yesterday. Alrighty, back on the overhead cam. Yes, you'll say to me, Chris, what has all these bits and pieces got to do? Because the plane looked pretty good to me. Well, yes, but you know me, I like to tinker around and bits and pieces. Now, the first thing I wanted to tinker around is I wanted to take off the petrol tank. Yes, there's this oil in there. Look at that. Must look at these sort of things. I don't think that matter too much. I don't know. I had to speak to Paul Heckles, ask him. Anyway, I think this is an 8-ounce Dubro tank, which was fine. Sat in there, lovely jubbly. But with the, if you saw the boomerang, you know I've got the pilot tank, which is a nice see-through tank. Now I have got to change these. I've got to change these tanks are for fuel, so for petrol. And these tubes are meant for petrol. Now eventually, if I keep them on there, they will rot and they would degrade very quickly through nitro. So I've got some pipe and I've got to stick that in there. Now, once I stick this in here, I will push it up to about, it goes up to about there. So the pipe works very short, which is nice. There's a couple of things I've got to do. So let's switch over to the iPhone cam. Yes, so on the iPhone cam. So here, this I've got to cut out. The reason I've got to cut these out is because of the little stacks on here, and they don't fit. They don't. Oh God. Holding the plane. This is when you need a partner in crime to help you. Anyway, so once I cut these two out, just probably across there, that will slip in really nice. The reason I need to slip it in quite forward is nothing to do with the CG. The CG I've got to work out afterwards. Now, if it's anything like the boomerang was quite front heavy, and we had to some weight on the back of it, which you'll see in the next flight, and it flies great. It flies, you know, this is going to be scale flying. It's not going to be super fast. How fast can I get the Spitfire to fly? No. It's how can I get the Spitfire to fly? Now, with the servo that's sitting here, I need to go forward. It's such a pain in the arse place to have it, but I needed it there. This is for the throttle, and I couldn't, because I wanted to put maybe the throttle up here or somewhere around here, but I couldn't. As you can see, it comes, if I stick it on its side, it comes down this bar here, and I will stop there and just hang on. And if by magic we are back again with the iPhone cam. Right, as you can see, so as we was talking about, the throttle comes through here and it comes through there, and it's a bit of a sort of weird thing going on, and it comes to this servo. So this servo has to be there. You know, I couldn't really put it any further back, so that's why I've got to then cut out the bits and pieces for here. So, you know, we're going to get onto that. Now, also what I didn't show you is what we did with the, I think it's the Dubro laser rods, flexible push rods. Now, if you remember, I was getting really bad problems with the, what was it, the rudder, I think? Yeah, I think it was the rudder anyway. So I've used these here instead, which are a lot better. This works fine. This is the, I think, this is the, no, I'm lying to you. This is the elevators. This is the rudder and the wheel, which works fine. And if you remember, I was having problems and it was sticking using the normal rods. It's just, I don't know whether it's the bend, they've cut the inside wrong. I don't know. But let me just give you a quick shot of them working, and you'll see how lovely they are. Alrighty, here we go. So I'm going to tip you to the side. So it's a bit of a weird way of looking at the phone, but here we go. There you go. Look how smooth that is. Now, if you remember from before, so if I just quickly just go to here, yeah, you'll see a bit there. My messy hanger. Look at that, beautiful. Now they are extreme extents, and they're not going to go that far. But they have worked out really well, really well. I'm loving that. So let's get that back to central. Awesome. So that was another upgrade I did. So which is pretty cool. So as you can see, there's nothing other space under here that I can use. So let me just go back to the overhead cam and back again. Yes, nice bit of iPhone footage. Oh yes, talking of footage, he's lost a foot. Yes, I still haven't got my Scale Pilot sitting here. I have got it open just because I didn't want to scratch the windows and bits and pieces. I've lost my pointy stick. Okay, I've got another pointy stick. Pointy stick Mark II. I haven't got my purple. Where's the purple? Anyway, now there's not a lot of space in here. So if you could think, the tank is going to come up to the edge here. Well, but in fact, it's not. I'm lying to you. The tank actually comes to. Well, yeah, it's not bad. It comes up. The tank will go up about that here. Now it doesn't leave me a lot of room. So what I'm going to have to do is that I'm going to build a platform on top of the servos, because on here, first of all, I've got to have 2 battery packs either side, 6-volt packs. So the same as the boomerang, I've got power for the igniter and then power for the receiver, which will have to live on here. So I've got a bit of woodworking to do in there as well. So it all sits in nicely, because I don't want to put anything in here. I mean, the pilot sits in there. I mean, yes, there's probably space in there. It's a lovely cockpit anyway, but last thing I want to do is see anything there. So, the pilot will sit in here when I get my 1/6, I think, or 7th, or whatever it was, 16th, 17th, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, it's a new one of him because he's just really, yeah. So there's that to do as well. So there's quite a bit of fiddling about. Now, electronics wise, I have got my automatic Prolux igniter, which I use on all the models. So here, so I've also on here, I've got to make almost like a double stack, because also I've going to put my Futaba switch harness, 2 of these. So one will switch on the power to the receiver, and one will switch on the power to the igniter, same as I did in also the boomerang. The switch to edit with the little light, that is the worst LED ever. Doesn't light up very bright, so I'll probably change it on this one. We can stick this somewhere. We have got to cut the cables down, probably keep that, probably the power to run up to here. This I will probably, I'm not sure, well, still I'm not going to stick it. I've got to stick it somewhere. I might stick it below. There is room underneath. That sort of be sitting down there, so I could stick it somewhere around here, somewhere like that, which would be out the way of the wings, and then the cables can go through here to the engine. I don't know. There's still stuff to play about, and I'm still head scratching. Now, talk about head scratching. Take a look at this. Now, this was the wing fit. I've done this as a wing fit the other day. Yesterday, sorry, I'm lying to you. And if you're on social media, you'll see anyway. That is a bad fit. I mean, what the, Anyway, and then so I started to look to the side. And if you look at this, you can look at the plastic. And the plastic doesn't look like it's been moulded to the wood. So that is pressing against the wing to stop it from going down so much. So I've got to cut that out and bits and pieces. So if you look at here, so it's this bit here. So I've literally got to cut along the side here and cut along the side here. So that will sit down on the wood, because when you tighten it, you can hear this squeaking. So I need to tighten that, and that should bring that wing down, hopefully flush as possible. But that was just like a wing test, really, to see if it fitted. Alrighty, more stuff at the back. Now, as you can see, I've put some heat shrink on here. I haven't heated it up, but it's just to go over the clevises to keep them tight. They are the metal ones. As you can see, this is the push rod, the red. I have, I've probably gone OTT with it and stuck it right out. There is some covers that you can get, that I've got here, that go over sort of probably half. And as you can see in a minute, I've got to match some paint. So I'll probably match some spray paint and just spray that up to make it disappear. As for the back, there is a cover that goes over here, but I'm going to leave this open for now until Paul Heckles. I'm going to ask him if he can sort of set the engine up for me to help me with that, and obviously to get the plane CG'd properly, because he's a great guy and he knows his stuff. and I'm going to leave this open for weight. So wait a minute. No, stop all that. Yes, we'll stick some weight in that because same with the boomerang. I put quite a few bit of weights back there to even the plane out. So yeah, that's another thing. There's little bits and bits. So all these little bits and pieces, but they take time. Okay, so now with more stuff that I've got to do and tinker around with, which I don't want to waste on videos really, is that when I put the actual wing on, I noticed that all this sits basically where the servos are. So I've got to make some more of these because I can get to them all apart from that one that I can't get to, but I could probably pull the servo back from the actual servo, and I'm going to bespoke the length of these. I'm going to make them so they're all at the same length, so you know, make them myself, so then they will come up to probably, I could keep them. It'd be better if I could make some holes here. I don't know why they made both the holes here, because that literally comes out straight on top of the servos. So either way, whether it's the front or the back, wherever I've decided to put the receiver, probably near the back I would think, about there. You know, I could probably use these, but there's a couple that's going to be short, so I'd rather sort of just remake these into a nice little loom before I put the ends on, before I crimp them on. I'll put a bit of Velcro, heat shrink, and stick this there just so it's away from all the bits and pieces, because you know the wing's going to probably it will probably come off, maybe, I don't know, depends what happens to the Hangar V2. Right, also you'll probably see that I've made a pig's ear of these covers. Yes, I put some glue on there, some CA glue, and it kind of leaked and it went everywhere, and I really made a pig's ear of it really. I'm a bit upset about that. So I am going to mix some paint up. I'm going to try and match this paint and just to spray over it. I mean, I've got some fine sandpaper, some really fine sandpaper. I'll sandpaper that down and spray that. There is a scoop here. I'm not sure where the actual front of the scoop it fell off. I have got it, and I was doing a bit of stuff with it. Where is it? Here it is. I was just playing about and putting a bit of oil in there instead of just black, and I just got to stick that back on there. But now also I did I stuck this down, and then it was still kind of lippy, which I didn't like, and I thought, well, I've made a pig's ear of everything else, so I'll get some very fine sandpaper and sandpaper that down. If I just bring it up a bit closer, it's probably be better off with the iPhone cam. But now what I did, the filler that I used, never prepared, the filler that I used was the Perfect Plastic Putty. The Perfect Plastic Putty, really good stuff, and it's for plastic basically. So this is kind of plastic, so it kind of dries really nice and hard, and you can rub it down, and then once again I will spray that. I'll probably do the same for this with the edges. I will fill that in. It's just because I want to. You don't have to. I mean, my greatest downfall is the Hangar. Yes, the Hangar is not very big, so I'm always bumping things about. So, but if I get up to fly, I'm happy. You can see the back here that I was tightening those down, that it kind of turns the covering down, and it does push it in, and she was still sticking out, as you saw on the little picture that I showed you. Yeah, and then obviously I've got some timber. Yes, I've got wood. Yes, in fact, I've got a few bits of wood. They're all plywood, and they're about 2.5 mil, 3 mil thick. I mean, come on, choose a card, any card, choose a card. This one? Is that your card? See, I can do magic. Yes, it's that magic time of year. It is Christmas. Well, Christmas Eve anyway. So what am I going to do this? Now, this is adding a bit of weight. There's a couple of things, you know, about the tray that I'm going to make. And also these are going to be cut out for the undercarriage. Yes, yes, yes. So I've got these little plastic things that go in the undercarriage, and we cut them out. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to stick that to the wood, a bit like that, if you can see, it hasn't blinded you, and cut it out that way. It's going to be fun cutting out. I haven't got a little bench saw, which I really wish I did have. So it's going to be fun anyway. And I'll sort of paint it and spray it or whatever with the colours. And it's very light plywood. It's very thin. The thing I don't like about plywood, sometimes it can bow. Even this has been in sort of, I don't know, we'll give it a go. But I couldn't get balsa this big, the sheets anyway. I just got to try and go to a shop or something in the new year. I'll give this a go anyway, but I'll definitely use this. But it comes in a little pack, so that's kind of handy. I'll always use it. I just need to stick it under something heavy. No, not me. I've got time to sit around on bits of wood. Just to keep it flat. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't get in the hanger. It doesn't get wet or moist. It doesn't get wet. I've got a dehumidifier, so it sucks it all out of the hanger. So, but yeah. So there we are. We're up to speed really on what I've got to do with the Spitfire, and I will get it done. If I don't know if I'm going to video it. I don't know. I've also got to mix up some paint. I've got some Tamira here, medium sea grey and some sky grey that you can't really see because it's quite bright in here. But there's other paints that I've got to try and mix up because I don't think that's a standard colour for the Spitfire, which I know it's not. But I've got to mix up some greys and play about with it. You know, maybe I might video that bit when I'm spraying. It won't be out for a couple of weeks, a few weeks even, or a couple of weeks should I say. We'll probably do an unboxing for New Year's Eve. Friday feeling falls on New Year's Eve. It's great, these Friday feelings. I mean, today's got to be a big feeling because it's Christmas Eve. It is for me anyway. As I say, if you don't celebrate Christmas, then it's still that Friday feeling. So listen, this year has been fantastic for subscribers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I mean, I know it's free just to press a like and a bell and a subscribe, but I appreciate it nevertheless. Well, some of the things we are going to be doing in 2022 is starting up members. I'm just sorting all that out as we speak. I think it's the smallest one's going to be like 99p a month if you want to support the channel. But yes, so if you haven't subscribed, please just press that subscribe button. It helps me a lot. It helps the channel a lot. It helps the channel build, and that's what it's all about. And 2022 it's got to be the year that I can get this blooming certificate, so it enables me to fly anytime I like on my own, any 5 minutes I get. You know, if it's not a full-on quadcopter from great David Owens, who's a brilliant chaser, then we stick a camera on the plane or something just to do a flight, just to enjoy life and let you know, give you a bit of a proper review on a plane to see, in my eyes, if it's any good. But hey, anyway, I'm waffling on, and you've got mince pies and lots of stuff to drink and all sorts of wonderful stuff. So listen, thanks for popping by. Enjoy yourself tonight and over the course of the weekend. And listen, I will see you New Year's Eve. So from me, have fun and thanks for popping by. Cheers now.